TWM podcast.
Hello there, I am Matty Deller and this is Best of the Rest, your Friday roundup of the odds and ends in your wrestling week. A part of TWM podcast, bringing you all your daily doses of wrestling goodness on all the usual platforms: Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube, and wherever else you get your pods. If you're in the market this festive season for a wrestling box full of goodies, check out squaredcirclebox.com. They've got loads of stuff, 8x10 t-shirts, posters, you name it, they've got it for just a very small price. And it can be even smaller by using the code TWMNudes and get 10% off your first order. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because, as we've done in previous parts, this is not being recorded on the Friday. This is being recorded on the Thursday before the Friday it goes out, because it's the festive season. We're all a bit busy and all that stuff. This is going to be very interesting. First, let me introduce our co-host, as always. He is the light of my life. He is the person that I'd always love to talk about Total Divas and then tolerate the other two shows with. It is Kyle James. Hello there.
Hey, I'm hyped up on jam donuts. This could be fun.
Well, I saw your message online. You had a jam donut with no jam.
I found the jam. It was on the other side of it.
It's always in the last place you look.
I ate the wrong half first. It was a disappointing feeling. Never have a dry ass donut.
There's a thing to put on a headstone. It's an interesting one because normally it doesn't really matter we record this on a Thursday before a Friday. However, we are 40 minutes away from the polls closing in one of the biggest general elections of all time. So we need to make sure that we don't date ourselves, if anything. So I'm just going to say all the possible outcomes at the start. So here we go. Can't believe Labour won the election. Can't believe the Conservatives won the election. Can't believe the Lib Dems won the election. Can't believe the squid people rose up and took over the world, plunging us into an undersea fighting ring. I believe
it's not butter.
There we go. So if the butter people take over as well, we've covered every base. Just delete as applicable.
It'll be if the butter people don't win, because you can't believe it's not butter.
That is true. So if the butter people don't win, just listen to that bit. Everything else you can just fast forward through. Anyway, we seem to both be well in good spirits. You've had donuts. I've had a succulent Chinese meal because it's my brother's birthday, so we celebrated. And I am well in the mood to talk about some odds and ends involving the wrestle. So let's start off with a little bit of NXT UK. I've got two words for you, Kyle. Ladder match.
Oh god, it's every independent big match ever.
It literally is. It's amazing that NXT UK finally announced every Brit Rest main event on a B-level show in the UK. They've announced a match between the Chris Young veteran South Wales subculture, Gallus and Imperium, after the match between Gallus and Imperium turned into chaos on NXT UK. They're going to have a four-way ladder match at TakeOver Blackpool 2019. My first thought on this was when I saw, because it all started when Zach Gibson stole the belt, so I just wrote down typical Scousers stealing. But in the current climate, I need to be careful on what I say.
You don't know, the butter people might interfere.
Is James Drake a butter person? Only you can find out. Before we get into the actual match announced itself, we had a main event where everyone got booed, so great work NXT UK. And also, I'm probably in the minority for this, but I just don't care about Gallus or Imperium, and this whole feud is making me really uninterested in NXT UK.
I care more about the Ilya Dragunov intersection more than I care about the rest of it.
But that's become
weird.
That's become like a C line of this whole feud, because we are apparently hurtling towards the money match that no one wants, which is Joe Coffey against Volta, when in reality, and I don't even like Volta, and I don't even like Ilya Dragunov, even I know that the main event of Blackpool should be Volta versus Ilya Dragunov, but it's not.
This is why I'm shocked they're not doing it in Glasgow in the Hydro, because that feels like more of a moment for Joe Coffey, not a year to the date where Walter debuted and kicked him in the mush.
Well, literally kicked him out of the main event scene, if you remember, after he had that.
Apparently, he kicked him out of it Groundhog Day happened, and it's the exact same shit.
Yeah, this is the proof that multiverses exist. I will say the match between Gallus and Imperium, once it got going, was pretty good. And the match will slap. The four-way ladder match, it will just be really, 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 really impressive.
Expect lots of divey things.
Yes, indeed. And I expect someone to take a very nasty spill off the ladder. And Bartel took a very nasty spill off he missed the ring apron and taking a flat back bump off the apron to the floor. Yeah, that was the main event pretty much. Other stuff on NXT, which a lot of it was a lot more interesting. We had Kaylee Ray over Isla Dawn in a pretty okay contest.
Battle of Scotland.
Yes, indeed. And then Piper Niven got called out by Kaylee Ray, but Toni Storm got there first, and they were thrown into each other, so there's big dissension. And Sid Scala makes Kaylee Ray, Storm, and Niven in a triple threat match for TakeOver Blackpool. Again, Kyle, that should absolutely slap.
And for any independent wrestling connoisseurs out there, Kaylee Ray's got a lot of history for title matches and triple threats. Look at her ICW women's title triple threat matches.
Yes, this is true as well. I also do love seeing Piper Niven get into a scrap in her Christmas jumper.
I think my favourite part was just like, I'm going to get ready to beat your ass. And then Tony's like, bitch, my turn.
It's my go. Literally, that was the wrestling equivalent of when you fight with your siblings to get to the bathroom in the morning. Just out my way, I need to use the shower first. I just love that Piper was dressed appropriately for the weather. She had a big coat on, a scarf, a jumper. She's like, good, sensible lass as our Piper Niven.
This was recorded in early November when we were still getting a little bit of warm. If they hadn't turned the AC on in there, she was going to die of heat stroke.
Well, if anything, then she's being seasonally appropriate for when the show goes out. Impressive from Piper Niven.
I cannot wait until next week where we see Sid Scala announcing the matches wearing an ugly Christmas jumper of Johnny Saint's face.
And Johnny Saint wearing a Halloween costume because he's easily confused. We did get another highlight, which is the return of Jordan Devlin, brand rep.
Yay!
This was brilliant because this big goes, I've been told I have to show clips from other superstars.
This is the best TED talk ever.
Oh, it's so good. And they shows clips of Tyler Bate getting battered, and we get again Jordan Devlin, much like with Liv Morgan Total Divas, giving us the line of the show where they show him losing, him and Trent losing to Grizzled Gun Veterans, and he says he couldn't get it done there with his elderly father.
Popped me.
So unnecessary, but so funny.
One for the generational gap. Like, elderly people will be looking at Trent now and being like, if he can do that, I can do it too. He's not 40 even yet. He's like definitely not that old.
But it was just funny.
Just the silver hair.
It's just brilliant. I'm calling him Tyler's elderly father. Speaking of Tyler's elderly father, he was meant to wrestle Michael May, cause Ireland, but
yeah, we had a lot of Ireland on this show.
We did, and Eddie Dennis battered him before this match could happen, and Eddie called it a gift. He's dressing very much like a head teacher. Is Eddie Dennis?
Demon Headmaster. But I want to bring this up to you. Isn't it ironic how perhaps two of my favourite things in wrestling are interlinking in this one episode, and it's by giving me not what I want, which is seeing more Ireland.
Yeah, more Ireland, but then your favourite Welshman batters someone to make it less Ireland, which is conflicting. We got another look at Ridge Holland as well. He battered Jack Stars. I will say, as a wrestler, Ridge Holland is very, very good.
Yeah, I want to see more of that. That shoulder tackle, pounce, whatever he did.
The yeeting.
Thing of beauty.
The yeetening. I'm not a fan of the gimmick. The Peaky Blinders thing, I don't like it. Doesn't really work for me.
It's a lovely flat cap though.
It is a lovely flat cap, but it's just a very ham-fisted gimmick. It doesn't fit him at all. But
no, I want him to go back to like the old rugby boy stuff that they did. Yeah. Because especially they mentioned it on commentary as well.
Yeah, just like I would have him just kind of lean into the rugby stuff. Have a bit of a Cesaro-like character, I would say. Kind of a bit more of the athlete stuff. Hey,
Ridge Holland has the weird thing where he looks like an England rugby player as well. I know we've all watched I'm a Celebrity recently. He looks like James Haskell. Yeah,
so why don't you lean into that? Have him, I don't know, go very far in a tournament and then balls it up, or
Get into a scrum with someone? Don't know. I don't know sports.
Toss a midget? I think they legitimately did that once in the Rugby World Cup.
I genuinely wondered where you were going with that. I heard the word tossed and my brain went.
Amir Jordan's back, which you love to see.
Kenny Williams also loves to see it. Not love to dance.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure whether he was happy or sad. He was like, "Hey, you're back. Why are you hugging me? Stop touching me. Why are you touching me?" It was
the best part. I genuinely thought he did not recognise who it was at first. He's like, "Hang on, which one are you?"
Are you implying that Kenny Williams was trying to accidentally not do a racism? And he was like, "I don't want to say you're Amir Jordan in case you're not Amir Jordan."
Yeah, it was just like if Kenny Williams had suddenly walked on to set up the Kumars.
I'm not sure whether that's offensive or not.
No, it's because, like, BBC jokes, we have to get them in.
Noam Dar's Benidorm trip is on hold, unfortunately, because he's facing Tyler Bate next week in a match. So we've got Jordan Williams returning, and we've got Tyler Bate against Noam Dar next week. This was an okay episode of NXT UK. Like I said, the Gallus Imperium stuff is just boring the tits off me. So
I enjoyed it, but what I'm not enjoying now is I was really hoping for a skit of Noam Dar with Chrissy Rock on the set of Benidorm.
If we can get a crossover, that's literally all we need. Can we have half hour of Noam Dar cameoing in Benidorm, and then we can have a half hour of just Jordan Devlin brand rep, just burying everyone. Then we'd have the perfect episode of NXT UK. This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low, low price. That low, low price is just £25, people. What a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, what you call it, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to TWM, you sexy, sexy people, you get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at SquaredCircleBox.com. I am going to front load this by saying that Impact was not a good show this week. It was very, very... There was one fantastic segment, which I think everyone has seen online. However, everything else was it was so dull. So dull. So I'm going to run through everything and then literally just go straight to the end and talk about the segment I want to talk about. So we got Pick Your Poison, which is Sami Callihan defeating Ken Shamrock via referee stoppage, and then Tessa Blanchard defeated Madman Fulton by DQ.
I think the weirdest part for me was there's no believability in the fact that Tessa would have picked Ken Shamrock. But it feels more believable she would have picked someone like Dagger. But
every Madman Fulton Blanchard match also is exactly the same with literally the same result, and I was just like, literally pick anyone else. Like, because I know it's going to end in DQ. You're going to have it look like she's about to be Fulton, and then OVE are going to interfere. Like, it's just, yeah. Also, during the main event with Shamrock and Callahan, Fulton goes for the end of day, like the spinny end of days on Shamrock, and there's just a big dirty jump cut because he clearly ballsed up the end of days, which was funny. And it looks like we're going to get Ken Shamrock and Madman Fulton down the road because Fulton yeeted Ken Shamrock out of the ring, so there's probably another match for Hard to Kill. Other bits on Impact before we get to the best part. RVD beating Rhino in an old school rules match. It was an okay match. It was quite slow. However, I did love Rhino lifting up the ring skirt and going, "Wow!" where table was found under the ring, like it had never happened in wrestling before.
Rhino's not been under that ring for a while. I genuinely thought he might have found Hornswoggle's Christmas dinner on there.
And then Don Callis called a child a future arsonist, which was accurate because he wanted fire. Then we get this was quite funny. So you got Jimmy Jacobs and Brian Cage doing a promo on a sofa, and RVD and Katie Forbes just start making out next to them.
Oh, I've seen this. It's the thing that looks like the beginning of a casting couch.
Yeah, and then Brian just goes, "Do you mind? We're doing an interview." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, guys." Just goes, "Don't mind me, just carry on." And then he buries Brian Cage, saying, "Brian Cage stole all of my moves, apart from the one where he lost to Tessa Blanchard." Moose beats AC Romero in a good little match, and I legitimately forgot AC Romero was with the company.
Yeah, he signed at the Warrior show, I think.
Yeah, no, I remember him debuting, but then I forgot. He's not been on TV since. I legitimately forgot he was there.
It has been a while, and I was shocked AEW didn't pick him up first.
Susie gets another flashback because she finds a noose hanging around. I feel like it's very similar to the Bray Wyatt and the Fiend thing. I'm hoping we get Susie wrestling soon. So I want to see how.
But next week we don't end up seeing that noose around some neck.
Yeah, I'm hoping they drag this out as long as possible. To be fair, because I'm really enjoying this. Falabar over Raj Singh. TJP stopped a beatdown. Where's Mahabali Shera? I miss Mahabali Shera.
Didn't they say he's on excursion in India doing something?
Yeah, but I want him on TV because I hate the rest of the Desi Hit Squad. Swan and Mac defeated OVE, Reno Scum, and the Rascals in a tag title match. I'm not sure why they had Willie Mack do a stretcher job, unless they're really wanting to put Rich Swan over, which is really, really weird to do right now. I would have preferred the Rascals winning this rather than Rich and Swan versus OVE. Just seems like just rehashing stuff. Somewhere, our friend Nathan is screaming because ODB got added to the Jordan Grace Taya match at Hard to Kill. So Jordan Grace has been fucked out of a one-on-one title match again.
I think I rolled him up earlier this week by saying I'm assuming that Taya is going to steal the win from Jordan by pinning ODB after a Grace driver, and he was like, yeah, but Jordan doesn't have to pin Taya. And I was like, yeah, but Jordan's probably more likely going to get screwed over.
Yeah, she is. I don't think they're going to give her the belt, which is a shame. Taya did cut a great promo on this. We're getting Eddie versus Elgin at Hard to Kill as well, and Elgin wants Eddie Edwards' title shot on the line. And now I get to talk about the favourite bit where Joey Ryan accidentally walked himself into Wrestler's Court.
It's so 80s, but it's so perfect.
All of this was just, it was so dumb, but it's in such a positive way that I genuinely love this part. It was so good.
It's refreshing. It's what you need during a serious broadcast. You need a little bit of relief in the middle, and that sounds more like I'm talking about something else.
Ironically, when he was brought in, they go, "Here, this is famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan."
Oh, for God's sake!
I love they called him that. We got cameos from a friend of TWM. We found out that D'Lo Brown's full name is DeLorean Brown, which is gold. And they have character witnesses. Tommy Dreamer asking Kira Hogan to say hi to her dad for him, brother.
Wow.
They offer Joey Ryan an attorney. These are some of my favourite bits on it. If they offer him an attorney, and they go, the only attorney we have is Joseph Park Esquire, but he's dead to us, so you can't have him. Oh my god, it's so stupid. And
that's perhaps the best line I've heard on Impact programming in a long time.
My favourite bit,
what the fuck?
Just so unnecessarily mean towards Joseph Park.
It's so funny.
Joey Ryan is brilliant in this, just because he just stands there and he just looks so fucking done with all of it. The highlight is after they eventually find him guilty, he's got to face AC Romero, who just walked in. This is all taking place in the bathroom, by the way, the men's bathroom. AC Romero just walks into shot during the middle of this, and he ends up being the punishment. Like, Joey Ryan, you have to face AC Romero next week. The end of it is Joey Ryan going, why did I sign with this company?
Oh god, whatever happened to Lucha Underground now?
Take me back, Krista Joseph, take me back. I think they put the whole thing up in full. And it's just brilliant. So, also, I think I found out that RD Evans is now writing segments for Impact. The guy that worked for WWE and then quit because Vince didn't like him being mentioned by name during Bret Hart's speech. The former Archibald Peck and RD Evans. So apparently he's writing for Impact, and RD Evans is one of the best comedy guys in the last 15 years. So I'm very hopeful that we're going to see a lot more of these ridiculous, quite funny, quite irreverent comedy segments in Impact, because this was really, really good.
Just give us more Joey Ryan SNL style stuff.
Yeah, just Joey Ryan trying to play the straight man to everyone else is just the best. If he goes full South Park, where he's just Stan in South Park, where everyone's an idiot and he's the only one who's making sense.
But it works so well, because this is the guy who got himself over by being the complete parody of what a wrestler should have been with the dick flip.
Yeah,
and now he's the serious one, and the tables have turned really weirdly.
I did also love Johnny Swinger basically him going, "You broke the bro code." Everyone's put him in there for his dick flip and like ruining wrestling, and Johnny Swinger just hammering home, "No, you didn't help me last week when I was facing Ken. Who was it? When I was facing whoever he was facing last week." And he's like, "I want 2 sets of pizzles." I talked about popping pills. And I'm like, good, they are so near the knuckle with the Johnny Swinger thing sometimes. Talking about Rizats and pizzles. And I'm like, that's going to get you in trouble. But at the moment, it's so goddamn entertaining. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't recommend watching the whole of Impact this week. They have put that segment out in full on their YouTube. Go and watch the Wrestlers Court segment. It is really, really funny.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
This is the end, Kyle. It's the end of one of the favourite things to cover every week on any of the TWM podcasts. This is the season finale of Total Divas.
Just begs the question.
What
are we gonna do? What are we gonna do every week?
I don't know. Does Ms. and Mrs. start soon?
Yeah, we should talk about that.
There we go. Problem solved. Oh, there we go. Feel better now. We will find something else to have on in the in-between. It's got to be something reality-based. It has to be. This whole episode, I think what we saw on Twitter, I got genuinely emotional in this episode. It was a really lovely episode of Total Divas.
It's poignant. There was no infighting.
It's so sweet.
There was a bit of infighting, but the biggest takeaway from all of it is they all love each other very much.
Oh, let's get into it. So we open with the pre-cap and recap, and then we cut straight to Carmella topless. And Liv Morgan and Natalya eating shit on surfing, and they both fuck their feet up on sea urchins, which are no joke from what I've heard. Natty's freaking out, and then Liv is just pissing herself laughing because she is the chaotic neutral that is Liv Morgan.
She's been the constant of this, and I will be shocked if they don't bring her into the main body of the show for season 10. I
think season 10, if Rousey's not back, they're gonna bring Liv Morgan in because she is too hilarious.
The internet loves her.
She was very similar to, I would call her, when Paul Rudd joined Friends as a bit part character towards the last few seasons.
I'm 23, so no.
Okay. Mike, yeah, when he joined as Phoebe's boyfriend, Mike, and then he was so good, they just kept him on as a regular character until the end. This is very similar to Liv Morgan in that. And then Mella is trying to teach Sonya Deville to take her top off and be sexy, and somewhere, Mike from the Indie Wrestling Show, if he sees this episode, he is going to implode.
Yep.
Because he loves her.
I genuinely think this is going to be one of those things that you need to watch with the sound off, if you might.
Quiet time for Michael. Liv, calm as you like, tells them that they've been stabbed by sea urchins, and then we see Nikki FaceTiming with Artem off of dancing.
This was weird, for me. It didn't feel like it was needed to be there. It was just hello, let's remind everyone she has a boyfriend now and it's not John Cena.
Also, it was really, really weird as well. This is completely off topic. But I kind of walked downstairs yesterday, and on the TV in the front room, Strictly It Takes Two was on, and they were talking about Dance with the Stars, and they had like a 10-minute thing on Artem talking about Nikki Bella, and but them dancing together and them being together, it was just really, really random.
What I've learned today is Matty watches It Takes Two.
It was on in the, I used to go to the Strictly shows back in my posh media days, but
Are you my mum?
I might be, but I do watch it now and again. I do like Strictly. It looks like Natty and Liv are fucked, but Ariana apologised for Sonia being try-hard. I like Ariana. I've been and ahhing, but I feel like she's just a genuine person. And Natty is understanding.
In the beginning, like, it's weird. Like, she felt like the other person that they brought in, and then she's got people to like warm to her, like in the cast and the viewers, which I'm hoping if Sonia stays for the next season, they have a lot more lovey-dovey moments between the two.
Yes, they do. I think they, like, Ariana looked very uncomfortable at first, but I think she's now getting more natural as dealing with stuff.
She's getting used to cameras in her face.
This is then we get some more hospital banter as Ronda Rousey is sorting out her hand surgery. But then we immediately cut back to Maui as chaotic neutral Liv Morgan immediately just wants a drink. While they all come in, Mela tries to air out the problems between Sonia and Natalya, and that was a huge mistake because it ends in an argument. And then I wrote down that Natty's just that girl on a holiday that demands everyone does excursions when everyone just wants to sit by the pool and drink.
No, there's like not a more accurate statement. You can just imagine like all the girls like wanting to sit by the pool, get drunk. It's like, imagine it as an all-inclusive hotel. Like, you've paid to be there, and then everyone is offering you free alcohol, like free food. You get the pool whenever you want. There's events on in the night, and then Natalya's like, let's go hiking, guys.
Yeah, she's like, right, everyone, we're up at 7 a.m. It's like, no, we're going to drink and we're going to lay until 11. No, I booked us in paddleboarding, kayaking. No, fuck off, we're on holiday, we're not doing a goddamn excursions. Natty calls her ungrateful, which is a fair point to be fair, and Sonya Deville goes full Jersey, effing and jeffing, and Natty gets pissed off and tells her to fuck off.
I think it was deserved though, because Sonya's literally out of the room, Natalya's undermining her, and then Sonya's just like, hello, I'm still here.
I did love that. It's like, I'm 5 feet away from me and you're chatting shit. What did you expect would happen? Breaking all the conventions of TV where if someone's off camera they can't hear you. Which was brilliant. Ronda comes out of surgery. It went well. Then most of the girls go chill on the beach, and then we hear Liv Morgan's story about her growing up and how this is her first ever vacation, and now I want her to just be the biggest star in wrestling because genuinely she just seems like the sweetest kid on the planet.
This was like the best thing. After all, just remember, this is the girl who's come from seemingly nothing and has made everything out of what she's been given.
Honestly, you don't need to do like the makeover of Liv Morgan on TV. Show this every week for like 4 weeks on TV, and she would be bigger than Becky Lynch because everyone would just associate with her massively. She's
like way more relatable than anyone else they try and push down our throat.
Yes. Natty is drunk as well. Then here comes Mummy Bella to sort out the Sonya situation. I just love the Bella. Like, everyone craps on them. I fucking love the Bella twins. Like, I just do. They are just the best. Like, I do love my women's wrestling, and a lot of people will say that they didn't do a lot, but they don't seem like bad people at all. Like, the biggest thing of watching is...
I'll say this. If you don't like them as wrestlers, like, watch this and enjoy them as people.
Like, I had my list of like wrestlers I would like to go out on the piss with, like just from asking other people. Mike and Maria Canales are apparently quite top of that list because they're hilarious. Top of my list forever would be I want to go out in London, ideally Camden, because I imagine it'd be really funny to go out in Camden with Nikki and Brie, because I think it would be so it'd be so messy and so much fun. Yeah, so Brie talks about how Deville needs to let loose and not act cool around her partner, which is true. I do agree. I think some people do. I used to be quite try-hard with ex-girlfriends when I was around like my friends and stuff, and then realised just to chill the fuck out and not worry too much about it.
I think that Brie summed it up really nicely as well, like saying that it's the way that she and Brian act, because like they've let their guard down around each other.
Yes.
She didn't imagine that she'd ever be with someone like him. And when she looks at him, like, sometimes she's like, "You're such a nerd, but I love you."
Yeah, and that's the whole thing of letting your guard down, and that's when you know it's legit, when you can let your guard down and be silly. Sonya plans to drop the L-bomb, but she's still in full try-hard mode, so she's panicking. Speaking of love, Mella wants everything with Corey Graves, and it looks like they're going to move in together. And here we go, part two of I fucking love the Bellas, and also part one of Why Am I Crying in the Club Right Now? As Brie Bella,
me like Cabello.
Yeah, I go full Cabello, because Brie Bella calls Liv Morgan's mum and invites her to Maui to surprise Liv, and I'm like, that is genuinely one of the nicest. Like, I know it's scripted reality, blah 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 blah, but that's generally one of the nicest things I could think anyone could possibly do.
It's like, there's no way they could have like found out about this until like Liv's little speech. So I'm assuming either the producers for Quickly or Brie and Nikki are really, really that nice.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit column A, a little column B. Mella and Sonya go for a walk to get something a few minutes before they're meant to go on a sunset cruise. What could possibly go wrong here?
Well, as we learned 2 minutes after the coming up, everything.
Nia Jax then heads into surgery, and she's worried, and her brother is fucking terrified. Like, legitimately, he's shitting himself, which is not helpful.
He was like no help at all.
Yeah, he was like looking like, he's like, you will die. You are going to die. I also can empathise with Nia Jax, because I too am fucking terrified of being put under. I don't like general anesthetic. Is it generally a general anesthetic? It scares the shit out of me, to the point where look after your teeth, kids, because I've had 2 teeth pulled at the back. I didn't go under for either, so I was awake for having my teeth pulled out of my face, and just had my face numbed, because the thought of me being put under genuinely scares the shit out of me. So God forbid I ever need major surgery down the line.
I had 8 done as a kid, and I was under for like 2 to 3 hours, so I'm braver than you.
Yeah, no, I can't. It scares me. It scares me so much. Natty mistakes the Bella twins for each other. Racism.
It's twinphobic.
Sonya doesn't answer Ariana, but then answers Natty, which is like literally A1, the worst possible thing you could have done at that point. And then Natty assumes they have run into Michelle Obama, which was a really odd choice of person.
It's just like, of the vaguest, like, kind of niche celebrity, did you ever think you'd hear Michelle Obama mentioned on anything to do with the WWE?
If you're in Italian, been like, maybe they ran into Pope John Paul II, and I'm like, the fuck did that come from? They missed the boat, because of course they do, because it's TV, of course that fucking happens.
Sorry, I've got to go back for a second. You just imagine, like, when Natalia's on the UK tours and someone's in Scotland but she can't get to, she just thinks that they've run into Nicholas Sturgeon. It's just like on the tours of Germany, they think that they've run into Merkel.
Yeah, she only assumed people have run into female heads of state. That's all she thinks of. If they ever go to Finland, they are fucked, because there's about 20 of them. She'd run into one of the Finnish parliament. So yeah, Ariana's pissed at Sonya, and Sonya is the queen of ultimate fuck-uppery at this point. But then we immediately get back on the boat, and all things turn around, because the season finale, so everything's got to end happily, because this is not the Real Housewives of Jersey. And Natty,
imagine if Nene Leakes made a cameo next season.
The ultimate dream. Natty and Sonya patch things up, and Mella celebrates, and then Sonya brings up the peanut butter vagina incident, which we will all never forget.
Yeah, I cannot get the image of a dog licking Natalia's tits and possibly her minge out of my mind.
Oh, well, say that for the OnlyFans. They have a lovely boat party, and meanwhile in hospital, Nia Jax is off her tits on gas. It looks like Nia's knees are going to be okay, and she's going to be okay, but she'll be back for the Royal Rumble. Still,
the best part was just like the doctor telling her how long she's been under for, and Nia working out just how long 4 hours is.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's like, what's time now? You went under 9, it's 1. She's like 10, 11, 12, 4 hours. Well done, Nia, you know maths. So Sonya takes Ariana to a private waterfall for a picnic, and she shows off the sexy pic to Ariana, and she says, "I love." By the way, I do love the fact that, like, like a celebrity version of a sexy pic is a really artistic photo blown up and put on a canvas, when in reality most pictures are just flaccid penises on someone's camera phone. So
well, it's the artistic version of the fappening.
It's done but with taste. And she says it. Sonia says I love you, and Ariana says I love you too. This was love.
They did go chasing waterfalls.
I love this, but this was so awkward they did it on camera, so I'm imagining this happened during the trip and they asked them to redo it so they could film it, because I can't imagine they actually did drop the L word first time on camera, because that would be really weird.
Fuck no, would they do that? I mean, would they do that? Because remember, part of scripted reality TV has the word real in it, but it also has TV in it.
So I would imagine that they went on a private date, they said that I love you, and then Sonia went, yeah, nobody said I love you, and they're like, can you refilm it in this nice place for us, please? Also, Sonia gives Ariana a box with a key to a place. She's moved into Tampa, and all is right in the world for the Total Lesbianims, which should be a spin-off show.
Yeah, I'd actually love to see that as the next spin-off. Fuck Ms. and Mrs. We don't need this anymore. Let's just review Sonia and Ariana.
Total Lesbians, coming soon to
Brazzers?
The Weather Channel. Everyone is shit-faced back at the ranch. The Bellas are leaving in the morning. Bye, Bellas. And Nia Jax FaceTimes Natty to talk about her surgery. Meanwhile, Trin turns up 15 days late.
How? Fucking how?
She has a 24-hour trip to Maui because of course she does, and everyone else there is shooketh. They're all pissed at this point, which is tremendous, and everyone's got their tops off and acting the fool. Sonia is telling Trim the mum story, and Liv's mum is on her way. Then we get Natalia cutting a promo to basically distract everyone, and Natty goes on and just rambles until Sonia brings in her mum. Liv Morgan cries, and this is the sweetest fucking thing. The Bellas are literally angels. This is like the nicest thing I've ever seen anyone to do for someone.
I'm just shocked that there was a promo and Charlie Caruso for the first time was nowhere to be seen.
Charlie just runs in going
joining me, my guest at this time, Liv Morgan's mother.
Why are you crying, Liv? Why are you so poor, Liv? Just like being very big. Said she's
Why are you so poor?
I'm just imagining this.
I can't believe you fucking said that.
Charlie Caruso doesn't say nice things when she's asking promos. We said this before. Hawaiian shit happens, and then Natty gives us some exposition for her last year. As does Sonia. As does Carmella.
What about the other three?
No one gives a shit. They were the main three, apart from Nia and Ronda. They have the farewell dinner in Maui, and then Natty's just a farewell party for Ronda because we have to do events at all times. Nothing can be off the cuff. Everything has to be organised with Natalia.
Going to hike in the middle of it, let's be real.
2 weeks later, Natty throws the pie and the gang's all here, and I just wrote down, this is so lovely again, why am I crying in the club? So twice now. They then have a nice video where they all cut promos in the WWE style, i.e. with a camera phone in front of their face, from all the Total Divas wishing Ronda well. They demand a speech, and I was like, don't they know that Ronda can't cut promos? So I don't know why you ask her to do a speech. And she talks about WWE Divas, and it's all very WWE women's PR, positive, blah, 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 HR stuff. It is very...
It's really trying to get that Evolution 2 promo going.
Yeah. It's very sweet, though. And then it closes with Ronda not knowing what the future holds, but saying in wrestling, no one really retires, and no one believes that she's retired, because she will come back eventually. So... that was Total Divas, and I'm not gonna lie, it was the first full season of Total Divas I've watched properly. Like, I passively watched one season once when I was, like I said before, watched a marathon over like Christmas one time when I was really, really ill, and just couldn't even turn the network off and just watched the entire like second or third season. I really like Total Divas. It's not as trashy as like some of the other reality shows, and it's not as makes you go ugh like the Kardashians. Maybe it's because it's wrestling related, but it's a really fun, like, easy to watch, easy to swallow, 40-50 minute show, if you fast forward through commercials and stuff, and it's just enjoyable, and it gives you an insight into some of the wrestlers you don't normally get. Like, you get to kind of see that Carmella is generally like such a lovely person. You get to see the struggles. You get to see that Sonya's a real human being that fucks up with her girlfriend all the time. You get to see Natalya is as mental as we all thought she was. And you get to see like different sides of Nia and Ronda and stuff, and it's just people that crap on this thing, but actually it's probably the reason why they've got so much exposure for the women's wrestlers, because this is giving, like, this is better than any promo time they can get on Raw or SmackDown.
I think a lot of the good stuff about Total Divas is the fact that wrestling's very social media driven, as I said the other day. A lot of the rumour mills try and pick up on everything before, well, anything really gets the full details of what it's about. And even though it's scripted reality, because they're filming the majority of the time around these episodes where a lot of these stuff happens, like the whole Carmella thing, Natalya's father passing, Sonya getting injured, Liv Morgan with a stripper pole. You don't really get to hear like about these stories from the wrestlers themselves until you get that peek behind the curtain from Total Divas. And it's not done as in like a, oh, this is the way that it's really done. It makes you feel like sentimental. It gives you reason to like them, and it makes you sympathize, because you're getting half the story from the media, half the story from them, and because it's not just one-sided anymore, you can form your own opinions on whether you like this person or not. Yeah,
I mean, look at the big story out of Nia Jax. We all thought Nia Jax was a cunt in the first, 5 episodes of this. And then by the end, she's actually just, she's been dealing with some real shit. And they had to, that had to be dealt with. And you kind of see the struggle, and you empathise, and you realise that people can fuck up and they can make up stuff. And yes, it is scripted reality, but you know what? I feel like this is more, ironically, the scripted reality about people in a medium that is meant to be fake or scripted, and it's probably one of the more real shows compared to most reality TV shows.
It feels more real than half of the script writing for the main roster.
This is true. And on that note, actually, before we go, I'm going to say favourite moment in Total Divas you've had, and who's been your MVP? Who's been your favourite character in this season?
Okay, well, I'll go for favourite, humanoid, because they're not characters, they are humans, they are real people. They're not numbers, they're human beings, to quote a famous X Factor meme from many moons ago. As you go through a tunnel.
Oh no, sorry, I'm going to be real. I'm recording this downstairs, so apologies if it's very echoey. Everyone is asleep upstairs because it's very late on a Thursday, and I was getting a bad cramp in my leg on the reclining chair I'm in, so I had to move it down. So that
you're oversharing, Carmella. Calm down.
Sorry, I'm just letting everyone know, so it doesn't sound like I'm in some sort of weird Optimus Prime style robot. But yes, your MVP of Total Divas.
I've kind of got two. Main cast, it would possibly be Sonya. Or maybe Carmella, because I'm classing them as a double act, really, because the two of them have been inseparable, and they've both had their own moments. Like Sonya, whole, let's get a girlfriend, let's be cool, let's realise that not being cool is not a good thing, and let's just be us. And then Carmella has been the kid sister that everyone's wanted, but we need her on season 10. You know you need her. Liv Morgan, we just need her doing everything, all the shenanigans, which have been the best part of this series, along with Charlie Caruso being Gossip Girl. I'm rambling on. Matty, your favourite person and your favourite moment, please.
Well, you didn't give your moment. I'll let you think about your favourite moment.
I did say my favourite moment. All of the Liv Morgan and Charlie Caruso are people.
Oh, just the cameos from Liv Morgan and Charlie Caruso. I love it.
Yes, the people who weren't even in the main cast, but are making the show better.
Because my one was my favourite non-main cast member has been Liv Morgan, because she's been brilliant, and I hope that she's in season 10 as a main cast member. My favourite cast member has been Carmella, because you've just seen how real she is and how genuinely of a nice human being Carmella, or what you're seeing is you can see that Carmella is a fantastic character, but you're seeing that Leah is a amazing human being as well.
Pulling back the glass curtain. It's her real life. I feel like this is the only vein where we can do.
And it's a toss-up between Ronda Rousey Doomsday Prepper, because generally that's been some of the funniest stuff throughout the whole season.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Miss Survival Guide 2019.
But I think it has to go to Natalia rubbing peanut butter on her vagina to get a dog to like her.
Really? Because I would have thought that that's definitely ended up on some website that we won't be looking for.
Just for Sonya Deville looking at her being like, what have I got myself? Literally, Sonya Deville giving the Joey Ryan reaction from Impact this week. Yeah, we don't know what we're going to cover next week. We'll have to have a think about it. Maybe we'll have a week's... Maybe what we'll do, because next week is the last week before we have a week off for Christmas. Maybe do something a little bit fun next week, and then also the week off, and then in 2020 we'll come back with a brand new episodic thing to round off Best of the Rest. But I think that's what we're gonna we'll finish off there. TWM.
Maybe we'll just go on Omegle instead.
Just look at all the dicks. If you want to see all of our dicks, not really. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at TWM Wrestle. If you want to hear from a bunch of dicks, you can check out all the podcasts and all the places that you know of: Apple and Google Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, YouTube, all that good stuff. TWM.news. There'll be predictions up for TLC up on Saturday. Well, I think we're doing a Twitch stream Sunday to kind of just give our premonitions and talk about TLC before it starts sometime on Sunday. That's pretty much it. Kyle, social media?
Follow me at Rusev's Divorce Lawyer.
Nice. I'm at Matty ID. We're all off to go drink, talk about the Bellas, and maybe step on some sea urchins. This has been Best of the Rest. We will talk to you next Friday.
Sayonara.